Welcome back, Maths Legends. Today we're going to be looking at properties of angles, and what we're actually going to try and do is work out unknown angles by using some of the things that we know, like supplementary angles, complementary angles, and also vertically opposite angles. So we're going to look at three different types of angles that are going to help us to work out unknown angles. The first one we're going to look at is supplementary angles. So the first thing that you need to know about a supplementary angle is it's a straight line, or 180 degrees. So in this case, all you need to know is to make up this straight line, it's along here, these two angles of A and B must equal 180 degrees, because we know a straight line is 180 degrees. So for an example, if A was 140 degrees, then we would know that B was 40 degrees, because 140 and 40 equal 180. Now when we come to this one here, I'm just going to label this. I'm going to say it's A, B, C, or I'm going to label this X. It's a pronumeral. Now a pronumeral means that they've taken out the number or the numeral and they've added in a letter to stand by. So we don't know what X is. Now X we have to find out. Now the first thing we know is that we have 180 degrees along a straight line. So here's my straight line here. There's my straight line. I know that my straight line must equal 180 degrees. I already have 130. So what do I have missing? I have 50 degrees left, so X must equal 50. Now this is one way to write your answer. X is equal to 50. So writing the angle as X. The other way that you could have done it is that you could have done it like this. You could have gone A, D, B, and we're talking about the angle of AD and B is equal to 50 degrees. So what's that saying is that it's from A to D to B is my angle, and that's that angle just in there. The second one we're going to look at is what's called complementary angles. Now you can see here that a complementary angle is actually a 90-degree angle. So it's angles that make up 90 degrees. So in this one here, you can say, let's say that we call this A and we call this B angle. We would know that A plus B is equal to 90 degrees. So for an example, once again, if we knew that this was 30 degrees, this angle here, then we would know that 30 degrees plus something equals 90 degrees. And I know that 60 degrees makes 90. Let's have a look at an example. Here's our example. You can see that I have 7. My angle is marked with an X, so I need to find X. Now I know 75, so I'm going to say complementary angle is 90. Take away the 75 I already have, and I would have 15 degrees, so X is equal to 15. The other way to write it is 75 plus something is equal to 90 degrees. So either of those two ways would work. So the third type of angles that I want to talk to you about is vertically opposite angles. Now all this means vertically opposite angles is that the angle that is directly across from where lines cross over or meet are exactly the same. So in this case, D is exactly the same as B. And we would know that A is exactly the same as C. Now the reason that we would know that is that it goes directly across that cross of those two lines. Now here's an example of one. So if I have a look here, I've got 35. I would know that I have to find Y and I have to find X. Now straight away, if I use this rule of vertically opposite angles, I look at the one that's directly across. So here is Y. Let's look directly across where the two lines intersect or meet, and I can see it's 35. I know that those two angles must be the same, so Y must equal 35. And the other one there is 145 degrees, because I know that it is directly across from the X. Okay, now this is your turn to have a go, gents. You're going to have to do two parts of this. You're going to need to know your supplementary angles, and you're going to need to know your vertically opposite angles. So you're going to have to use both of these two different rules to be able to work this problem out. I want you to find out X, Y, and Z and have those written down, please. Stop the video here. Okay, let's see how we go. Now the first thing I'm going to look at, I'm going to use my vertically opposite angles. And I'm going to go, boom, straight across. I know that X has to be 105 degrees because it's vertically opposite on things. Now I know that Y and Z are both going to be the same, but how am I going to find out either Y or Z? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at it. Do I have a straight line? Yes, I do. I have a straight line here. Now I know that Z, using my supplementary rule, would be 180 degrees. Take away the 105 degrees that I've already got. Now 180 degrees is my straight line. Take away the 105 of the angle I've already got, and I'm left with 75 degrees. So my Z is 75 degrees. And my last one then, I'm going to look at my Y. I know it is opposite, vertically opposite, so it must be 75 degrees again. So I've used both of those two rules. Now sometimes you may need to use both your complementary and your supplementary together. But it's all about knowing where your straight lines are, angles that you already know like 90 and 180 degrees, and knowing that where lines intersect that you can do your opposite and vertically opposite angles and that they are equal. Gents, come with lots of questions. Please write success criteria. We'll see you for class for your different types of angles.